So last time we were talking a little bit about friendships and vacation and how good it was to go on vacation with our families so that you and I actually had the chance to connect, to talk and to, to spend some time just, oh man, what's going on in each other's lives? Because that used to be the routine.
2 months of life have changed so much.
Yeah.
The routine changed. And I had no clue what was going on in y'all's lives.
Well, I think you're kind of caught up now.
Am I?
Right?
Okay.
As far as I know.
I'll take your word for it.
As far as I know, you are. But
Things change.
That was good to connect with friends and with Susie and to just have that time, right? There was a relationship that I thought I was going to be so much more about being intentional with while on vacation that it just didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. And I'm like kind of kicking myself wondering why not.
Okay, wait. You had time to reconnect with Susie. No kids. This was a kidless vacation.
Kidless, 3 couples.
We reconnected, and the 4 of us, plus our friends Jim and Tina, so all 6 of us. It wasn't any of those 5.
None of those. No, it was good.
What
that was all
are
great.
we talking about here?
I had the best of intentions of getting up every morning, having quiet time with the Lord, on the beach, as the sun was rising. You know how many times that happened?
I'm guessing none?
None.
Oh, no.
Big old 0.
Oh, no.
Now, it's not to say that I didn't ever open my Bible or have any sort of quiet time, but not the way that I thought it was going to go.
Not the way you envisioned it.
No.
Yes.
No. Not like Instagram-worthy pictures.
Okay, whoa. This brings in a whole new different dimension. That's a whole different wrinkle.
Oh, that actually kind of annoys me.
It's I know it's a joke for you.
Yeah.
But is that feeding our thought process on getting to the beach for quiet time or being up before the sunrise, or is it a false guilt we put on ourselves?
That's me wanting to actually mock the pictures
okay.
The Bible is set just so, the coffee cup is set in just such a way that you can see the Bible verse and its reference.
Such a guy.
And I've got all my highlighters and my pens laid out just right. And then my flowery devotional sitting over here like, really? Is that what it really looks like every day?
Oh, every day?
Is that what
It depends on the person, don't you think?
Maybe.
I think it does.
Maybe. I'm skeptical.
But you wouldn't have done Instagram post anyway.
Oh, no. Wouldn't have done any post.
No, but you didn't do any devotionals on the beach either.
I did not.
So what is it bugging you now that you're back? Or?
It is. It does bug me just a little bit.
And why do you think that is?
And that's what I'm like kind of wrestling through right now because I'm like, why did I not? It feels like a missed opportunity. And at the same time, it was a vacation.
Right.
So it's a shift in schedule.
Completely.
It's a total like reset of a whole lot of things. But I didn't want to reset that.
No, I don't think the desire is ever to reset that. And yet then when it happens in the way it did and you didn't get the time that you thought you would with the Lord because you were on vacation. So you think you have more time and then you kind of don't, or you don't make the time.
That's just it.
Yeah.
The alarm clock, now it doesn't go off as early today as it used to. When we were doing a live radio show every morning. But it still goes off at like 5 o'clock every morning. And I'm up and in the shower and then out in quiet time. And, it's like the routine is still there at home. It's just shifted.
Sure. A little
bit later than it used to. So I thought, well, I can still kind of have a routine on vacation. Still kind of, I may not necessarily get up at quite that same early hour, but, we'll just shift the day back a little bit and do that. But there's something about, being on vacation and like decompressing and just relaxing.
Right.
And getting more sleep than normal. That just, I don't know. It was hard to get out of bed in the morning to go do that.
And that schedule is so different, even if you're sleeping in and you're thinking, I'll just sleep in and get up when I want, and I'll go do devotions
I'll go do it then.
But then, especially like you're there with Susie and I'm there with Ben. So Ben, bless him, he did get up and do his Bible study every morning.
Of course he did. Of course he did. Uh-huh.
I know, I think the same thing. I'm like, honey, really, you really did this. But for him, it's, how do you say it? It's a non-negotiable because he's in this leadership role that he cannot get behind and he doesn't want to get behind. So, and he's an early riser by default.
Oh, see, I am not.
This is where I think the struggle comes. I'm not an early riser by default. You have said you're not.
Oh, I'm not.
Is Susie?
No.
Okay. Therein lies the difference as to why Ben gets his Bible study done. Because when his little eyeballs pop open at 5 a.m., he's like, oh, okay, well, let's just get up and we'll go get coffee and do our Bible study. And my little eyeballs pry open at whatever time the alarm goes off.
Uh-huh.
And then I will get to that next. But I think you said that you might have answered your question. You set your alarm at home to get up, to start your day, and you're always going to do time in the Word, time with the Lord. On vacation, you don't set your alarm.
I didn't set my alarm.
And that
Do that.
just changes everything. You would have had to set your alarm if you were going to get that done.
Yeah. That just didn't happen
And
this time.
No. And
Nope.
so herein lies, though, the tension of the whole sanctification process, right? Because the Lord is changing us. He is giving us a desire for him that we spend time with him, and then it's almost like a fire. He feeds that.
Yeah.
And yet, if you take a week off or you get out of the habit of doing time in the Word, he still loves us. This is where I wrestle. I know it's true. I know he still loves me. And yet, I know I'm going to stagnate. I'm not going to grow. I'm going to just be in my status quo. And then I'm going to be okay with that. And then the world's going to shift. And I'm going to go, Lord, where are you? What happened? And by default, I'll probably go to the Word, or I'll just get really sad and think, are you mad at me? And that's where stinking thinking comes in, as we call it. That's bad theology. Now, are you not in the Word and you don't have a default to go back to some place that's going to bring you strength? Yeah. But that's not because God's mad at you. It's because you chose not to spend time in the Word and time with him. That has nothing, they don't equate.
Very true. Yeah. And one thing that I did feel at least a little bit better about is like, okay, I know that I am wrestling with what feels like a little bit of a missed opportunity. Mm-hmm. And in the past, I probably would have beat myself up over that, which then would have caused me to not open my Bible when I got back home.
Oh, sure.
I would have gotten back into, because of the stinking thinking, I am going to avoid getting back into that intentional relationship with the Lord, pursuing him and wanting to spend time with him and cultivate that with him, because I think that I don't want to take the lumps that I think I'm going to get.
I know.
Right?
That's where the bad theology comes in.
That is the bad theology.
That is bad theology.
And that did not happen this time as I punch a chair. That did not happen this time.
Good.
And so for me, I'm like, yes, that was a good thing. So this morning when the alarm went off, it was out. It was Bible open, study book open, all open. Let's go.
Yep.
Without an Instagram post.
And without guilt.
And without guilt.
Okay.
Well, maybe just like a smidge, a scotch. Give that. Just a scotch. But I could let go of that pretty quick.
But you could take that to the Lord and say.
Exactly.
And this is when.
Today is a new day.
It is a new day. And his mercies are new
Every
for
morning.
today. And when we get confused on that stuff, we have to go back to the Word in the truth of it. And I'm talking to myself right now, not you. You figured it out. I, though, have to go back and go, okay, Lord, your mercies are new today, which means I'm not on yesterday's mercies. I'm not on tomorrow's mercies. I'm on today's mercies. That's one thing. Then I think of David. And David is such an example. King David is such an example of a man after God's own heart. There was something in his wiring spiritually that pursued the Lord that I think we can't even understand, even though we can read his writings. There's something God put in there that aligned with the Lord, and it's the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. I know that. But I take comfort from that and challenge, because I see the repercussions that came in David's life when he disobeyed.
Right.
And you don't want that. Sometimes you can learn by watching others. Other times you got to make the mistakes yourself.
And he did both.
And
right?
he did both.
The other thing, since you brought up David, I look at David, if you do like a little bit of a character study with him, like, I wonder what sort of impulse control he had. Because whatever he did, he seemed like he was all in.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Whether it was sinning or praising the Lord.
Right.
You know, whatever he did with his whole heart.
And Peter is another one of those people. And I did think about this. I think it was on vacation that I thought about Peter. And we oftentimes will say, oh, I relate to Peter because I, shoot my mouth off before I think, or I'll act before I think about the repercussions of my actions. And I thought, well, what about after Jesus met him on the beach? Remember after he denied him and after Jesus died and he came back and he went through the whole, Peter, do you love me? Peter, do you love me?
Feed my sheep.
Okay. And he was trying to restore Peter. And then he would tell him, I'm going to build my church on you. And at that point, I wonder, do we then relate to Peter and the rest of his life? Or just the impulsivity of Peter?
Of the fact that Peter then went all out for the sake of the gospel?
He sure did.
Yeah.
He went all out for the sake of the gospel. And to the point where the life, at least what we know in Scripture, the life he knew was done. And when Jesus ascended and Pentecost happened and the New Testament church started, you don't see Peter. I mean, yeah, Paul has to confront him and there's that, but it's because he's so sold out that he's trying to do, he switches to a legalism kind of thing.
I wonder if it's a fear thing.
Oh,
I suspect Peter wrestled with fear because it talks about, when Peter denied Christ, I think there was an element of fear. He just saw his Messiah. He just saw his rabbi. He just saw one of his best friends be taken away, arrested. He was going to go through all the things that Jesus went through there. And, Peter's denial was pretty forceful and almost
overt.
It was kind of like vulgar, in some way. Like there was some fear in there. And then when Paul does have to confront Peter later, it was because Peter, you had in a sense, the Judaizers who came, and because of their influence, I think that there was maybe an element of fear that Peter had of wanting to look a certain way.
Sure.
In their eyes, that he began to back away from the Gentiles, and he began to back down on some of that. And so Paul, I wonder if when he called him out, if there was an element of, hey, Peter, I see your fear.
Sure.
That's going on there.
You just learn so much, though, from those lives.
You do. Yeah.
From the Word.
Because some of us can be fearful about certain things.
No fear.
Yeah.
I'm sure nobody deals with fear. No.
Yeah. And that's where I love the honesty of Scripture. Like, it's not whitewashed over, like, the unvarnished truth is in there. We see the good and we see the bad of some of our heroes of the faith.
That's a good way to put it. Unvarnished.
Yeah.
David, Peter, so many of them. Yeah. And ministries that want to continue to talk about the Lord, and I'm so grateful. And I know it's the time of the year where a lot of ministries are coming out to say, hey, don't forget us. Like, I was thinking at school, the kids would always do shoe boxes.
Oh, like
for Operation Christmas Child. Yes.
Yeah.
And this is the first year I don't have somebody in school and I'm not getting the notes home and the emails and the texts and the reminders and my kids not coming home going, hey, don't forget we need to do the shoe boxes. And I do get emails from them because I'm on their mailing list. But I thought, what is it that keeps us supporting a ministry? What is it that, because that reminders, because I love that ministry, but also I would get the reminder visibly as my child would come home and say, we need to do this. Church, sometimes your church will do something like that.
Yeah.
But that's
ours
not
is all into that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I know your church for years because I used to go to that church, so I know. But there's so many great ministries out there, and we've seen ministries that have come alongside all the hurricane victims and things like that. So if something's, though, not in front of you, what makes you either not support a ministry or start supporting a ministry or go, oh, yeah, I need to do that. Like, I want to do the boxes. I still want to do the boxes, and I'm glad I get the emails. But what is it that connects you with a ministry to where you want to support it?
So I think for me
Yep.
and our family, I think there's several different things.
Okay.
One, like with Operation Christmas Child and the shoe boxes, it is a ministry that our kids conceptually get.
I know.
It's a ministry that they resonate with. And, they've seen the pictures and the videos, and and this is something that we've done for the past several years with them, is they have saved some of their money. We're trying to teach them, stewardship. And so they've saved some of their money, and they'll pull out some of their own money. And, of course, mom and dad, and we go to the store. Usually Susie takes them to the store. And they will pick out the items that they want to put in the shoe boxes. And, they're super engaged and involved.
That's so
in
good.
it. And so that is one of the reasons that we continue with them. Is not only is it a great cause, but it's one that our kids can very easily connect with and get and feel like they, get to be a part of something in that way. I think another thing is just probably our own pains and passions. When I think about different ministries that have different focuses, if you've walked through some sort of addiction.
Sure.
Whether you personally or maybe a family member, and that ministry has helped overcome that addiction, that's a ministry that you're probably thinking that's worthy of my support, and I'm going to give in that area. If it's, something to do with maybe orphanages, and you were in an orphanage or adopted at one point in time. So I think that, when there's that pain or passion that is personal, and there's a ministry that touches either one of those things,
I
think that's you're in.
All in.
You're in.
That makes sense. Yeah. Well, I know a lot of ministries at the end of the year, and here we are going to be sending out probably almost daily reminders. At least that's in the experience, especially the bigger ministries. The bigger ministries that have the ability to do that, the resources, they're going to remind, which is
not us.
That's no. Ministry, yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Because as we began talking about vacation a little earlier, that's one of the good things that happen on vacation.
That was something.
We found out Don and Steve Plus, official 501c3 ministry. That was a cool day.
Can I just say that when the IRS beats the cable company on getting the job done, the cable company might want to take note.
Yeah.
Just saying.
When the government
we're still waiting on the
beats
cable company.
Business, that's a bad sign for that business.
Kudos. I didn't know. Like, I'd heard it could take a year, and some ministries have waited a year. And so we were just like, okay, Lord, glad you're in charge of this, because we don't know what to do. It's new to us. We're used to working for 501c3s or 403bs, whatever. And now is that not right?
403b is a retirement account.
Oh,
501c3.
okay. I'll just stay on that. 501c3s. And so we did. We filed for it, and we did get approved, so we're super excited about that. and getting all those little things lined up so that we can show accountability and receipts and all the things. That's going to be new information that my brain does not hold right now. So
But it will.
it will.
It will.
And I am looking forward to learning, because I think one of the cool things about this new adventure for us is learning new things.
Oh, yeah.
And
They say you can't
That's
teach
never bad.
old dog new tricks. Well, if you've got older dog, middle-aged dog, learning new stuff. If you're not watching YouTube, I wish you could see the look that I'm getting right now.
if you're not watching,
I called you the middle-aged dog. I took the old dog label.
but I know who's older. So yes, yeah. In YouTube,
I just have more gray hair.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That's one thing on vacation. Susie and I and you were talking, and Ben. Of course, Ben has shaved his, so his is gray. But
Yeah, I was the only guy on the trip with hair.
yes. The other two decide that they're just gonna keep it close to the scalp. And yet we were kind of chuckling about your gray hair and how I take great pride and credit for that gray hair.
You and Susie. You get You get,
Oh, yeah?
You get the lion's
We
share.
share? Okay.
You two
I
share
get
that.
the lion's share. That's probably good, because you want harmony in the
That's
home.
true.
If you have to put up with a little mess at work, well, okay, just a little. I try not to give you too hard of a time,
No, bring it on.
but
Hey, I got
It
two
is my
strong women in
job.
my life, so
it is my
Yeah.
job. Yes. Well, I do hope that as you think about the ministries toward the end of the year, that you will prayerfully consider supporting the ones that, like Steve is saying, resonates with you. And your church is always going to need to be first, always, because that's prayerfully the Lord's work, and they are reaching out to the community, and you're able to connect with people and share the gospel with them. So I do hope that people are supporting their churches, and that you will consider other ministries as well, because you know there's a bunch of good ones out there.
there are. And if you feel so led, you can do this one. But hey, one other thing about this ministry here, about this podcast, YouTube program, whatever you want to call all this, Don and Steve Plus, would you be our plus one? Would you like and subscribe and share? And we are grateful that you've joined us on Don and Steve Plus.